We have arrived. This is Labor Day. It is Labor Day, but we still got some stuff to talk about. And I think that we should be good on the issues that we were having with my laptop before, to where after like an hour or so in, it just started getting slow. I don't think that'll happen anymore. But if it does, then I'll just have to try something else. I ended up getting some McAfee, and I did some stuff on it to remove trackers or whatever. I had a whole bunch of trackers, so maybe that was what was going on. But either way, we are going to start. Yes, indeed, Alonzo. You already know we got to get it in. After this, I'm gonna go for a run. It's such nice weather. What is it? What's the weather here in St. Louis? It is 80 degrees. We got Queen Fritz in the building. What's going on? Good to have you here. Yes, 80 degrees here in St. Louis. The humidity's low. It's really nice outside. So after I'm done with this, it's time to get some sun. I'm gonna get a run in. We got Libby, we got Chet, Sigourney. What's going on, everybody? But yes, I'm sure you've seen the title of my stream today. I'm kind of getting bored talking. We got Christina, we got the Queen, Christina. What's going on? How you doing? But I'm kind of getting bored talking about Trump a lot. I mean, there's still stuff to talk about, but at this point, it's just like all it is some stupid BS that he said, some ridiculous BS that he did. And, like, obviously it's not over until it's over. But even at that, there's a lot of things going on in the country, around the world as well. But there's really a lot more happening, whether it be, down ballot elections, whether it be on city council ballot initiatives that are going on, um interesting things that are happening in communities all over America. Community leadership, people who are, you know uh, teachers, people in union workers. There's a strike going on today. 10,000 hotel workers are striking today. There's just a lot going on. And like, at the end of the day, I remember one of the things Libby been saying for a long time. We just got about Trump, and it's just about that time. But again, I'm kind of bored just overly discussing this, because I mean, there's really nothing in the ether that suggests that Trump is going to turn this around. Like, whether it be him getting absolutely trounced in poll after poll after poll, like literally all of the polls that you can possibly imagine, whether it be how much he's losing in the fundraising battle, whether it be how much he's losing specifically in swing states. We've talked about how many more offices Kamala has open than Donald Trump, how many more volunteers she has. 400,000 volunteers around the country, knocking on doors, making phone calls. Voter enthusiasm that we haven't seen since 2008. You know what I mean? You got voter registration that's just incredible voter registration. I mean, like, it's again, like I'm saying, it's not over till it's over. But so you look at all the metrics that you could possibly want to look at, and Trump is getting trounced. Now, unless everyone wakes up one day and just forgets about what Donald Trump has been doing for the last 9 years, he's not a new candidate. We've been watching the guy forever. Unless people just all of a sudden wake up and forget about all of that, I don't see any reason why he's going to turn this around. Like, I just don't see it happening. So again, we're still going to talk about it, but I think that it's kind of time to start focusing on other things, because it's just getting boring. It's getting boring. This guy clearly does not have any capability to act any differently, as we've discussed. And I know I'm not the only person who said it. This is all he can do. And this is why Republicans revere him so much. This is why they like him, because he acts a fool, because he acts like a clown. It's just not working now. So all of a sudden they have a problem with it. So I mean, what is there really to talk about? I mean, I don't even pull up the polls anymore, because any poll where Kamala's a little bit ahead is like an outlier at this point. She's ahead in everything. So, whether you like it, whether you love Kamala Harris, hate her, whether you think she's great, whether you think she's an idiot, I mean, the writing's kind of on the wall. So let's kind of start to, again, we're not going to totally move on because it's not over till it's over, but I just think that, over the next 2 months, the media is gonna do its best to pretend like, oh, he might, pull a whammy and he might just pull something out of a hat, like, but he's not going to. So I think that I think there's oh, we got Kenny in the building. What's going on? But yeah, so I'm kind of tired of saying the same shit every single time I'm on stream. So let's start talking about other stuff. And if Donald Trump does the debate on September 10th, it's not going to go well for him. I mean, so you got Frank Luntz. Now he's on there talking about the debate is everything. Like, well, he's not going to do well. You know what I'm saying? So it's just getting a little old. It's getting a little tired. This man who he goes to Arlington Cemetery, he can't stop making everybody mad who he needs to vote for him. So it's just shit's old. Like I got some stuff pulled up. It'll be a bit of a shorter stream today because it's Labor Day, but I got some of this stuff pulled up like here like Byron Donalds, always tap dancing on TV for Donald Trump. I'm sure you probably already seen this. He was like, that he's one of the smart ones. Not even realizing what he's saying or what he's.
Executive. And he immediately, the first thing he did was approve the Nord Stream pipeline. And then they'd say, Mr. Congress, oh, look who we have. Byron, stand up, please. Superstar of the future. He's already a superstar, but he's a superstar of the future. Byron Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. That's good. He's great. He's great. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't.
That one is smart. You got smart ones and you got some that aren't so smart. I mean, it's just like this shit is just old, and that's subtle for Donald Trump. That's incredibly subtle for Donald Trump. That's nothing, compared to all the stuff that he's doing. So it's like let's just kind of start to, again, it's not over till it's over, but I mean, what more is there to discuss? I don't know if I pulled this up the last time I was streaming, but you got stuff like this. This is his strategy. He's selling stuff like this on his websites. Like, what is this? What is this? You think that this is going to convince people to vote for you? Fool a Kamala Berry with, she's got on, Indian garments. Like, I mean, what is this? Like, I mean, what is there really to even say about this? I don't know what more commentary I can give. Like, are we going to pretend like we're super outraged about it? At this point, people are just sick of it. This is stupid. This really isn't funny. This is just dumb. And then, you got him going on interviews talking about how he had every right to commit election interference. He had every right to interfere in the 2020 election. This is the type of stuff that he says when he does interviews, but everyone else, well, not everyone, but a lot of people in the media are like, oh, well, you know what? I don't know. Kamala, she's got to sit down and she's got to do an interview like this. I know she did an interview with on CNN and it went well, but now I mean, like, what are we even talking about? Because when Trump does interviews, they go like this.
And I had to make a decision. Do I want to do this? Do I want to put the wife of the President of the United States and Secretary of State, by the way, do I want to put her in prison? And I'm trying to unify a country that really was broken badly. If you look at, what was going on with Obama when I took this over, this country had tremendous hatred, anxiety, a lot of hatred. And do I want to put the wife of a president of the United States in prison? I didn't want to do that. And then when I get out, it's like, it's amazing, actually.
Poor me.
It's amazing. And it's such a bad precedent because people are going to think about it differently. They're going to think about it differently. And it's very sad, actually. But the good news? It's so crazy that my poll numbers go up. Whoever heard you get indicted for interfering with a presidential election where you have every right to do it, You get indicted, and
Okay, see, he just openly says, who would have known I get indicted for interfering in an election. I had every right to do it. He said it like people aren't going to hear this, like people aren't going to throw this back at him when he's literally, he has criminal trials pending for this very thing. You know what I'm saying? Talking about some, oh, I'm up in the polls, I'm winning in all the polls, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like you sitting here in the past talking about some, I get indicted and my polling goes up. Yeah, well, what about today? Like this shit is just boring. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really boring. It's really old. Um, Hold on. Like, and what's the rest of the apparatus talking about? Because it's like how can the Republican Party as a whole right now act so outraged with Tim Walz and his military service when you got Donald Trump going to the Arlington Cemetery, making a thumbs up, pushing people out the way, talking bad about the Medal of Honor? Like, how do you like? What are we even talking about? What are we even discussing? Like, there's no real conversation to be had here. And then, hold on, what's this? And then, like on conservative stations, they listening to shit like this. There's too much DEI in NASA. There's too much DEI going on with NASA. Hold on, let me see. Like, I just don't like, and people keep talking about 2016, but that shit was 9 years ago. 2016 was 8, 9 years ago, and he has done nothing but lose since then. And in 2016, he had all these metrics going for him that he doesn't have going for him now. He had way more voter enthusiasm. He had more donations. He had more campaign offices. He had more of a message. He doesn't have any of that shit now. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go to people who are all in his bubble, this is what they're talking about. DEI to the moon. Biden's race focused agenda is putting NASA's future at risk. Like this is stupid. This is ridiculous.
By the way, I wanted to mention we were talking about NASA and their DEI efforts. Do you know what the percentages are at NASA that they're trying to fix with the minorities?
Oh, yeah, I don't.
With the inclusion, with the diversity inclusion.
How many people work at NASA? Like again, they talk, whether it's they talking about this shit or they talking about Imani Khalif. Oh, she's a man. Like how many? What does this have to do with anything? What does this matter? Why does this matter? You talk about inflation, even though right now America has the lowest inflation in the world. Like they have no argument. There's no argument.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay. The problem at NASA is that the majority is still male at NASA, 64%. Okay. So that is a little out of whack. But the whiteies that work at NASA is 54.1%.
Overwhelming.
Is it
overwhelming?
That is so overwhelming.
What is the white population of America? I think that's dead on, isn't it?
Again, this is what MAG is focused on. Oh, how many black people or how many Latinos are working at NASA? Oh, well, when you're focused on those types of things instead of genuine talent, well, that's like how many Americans are thinking about NASA versus how much things cost, food on the table. You got Donald Trump talking about he's going to put a 10% tariff on everything, on all foreign goods. Like that would destroy the economy, especially for people who aren't balling out of control. Like, what are we even talking about? This shit is boring. This election is boring. And it's just in every day he can't help but make it worse for himself. And then you got this going on. It's like, oh, just be very afraid. Outside of the MAGA base, the message that you should be very terrified and the country is just a horrible shit show. It's not selling with people. It's really not. Like, what is this? You got this. This was at the Moms for Liberty thing. Like, what is this? Like, this is, she's eating a bald eagle with her hands, and she has a communist jacket on. Like, this isn't selling with people. This shit is not. You're not making people feel like this is who Kamala Harris is. I mean, anybody with a functioning objective brain, again, even if you really, really don't like, even if you absolutely hate Kamala Harris, how can you? I mean, what do you really think she's gonna do? You think she's gonna turn this country into a communist nation? You really think she's gonna do that? No, most people don't think that. Most people don't think that. And again, like when Donald Trump, he can't backtrack from abortion. One day he's talking about how everybody wanted Roe to be reversed. This is what everybody wanted, but that's not what everybody wanted. And then if he tries to backtrack on that, then his own base gets mad at him. Like there's elements of his base that are like, hold on now, no, 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 you can't backtrack from this. Like, huh? Like, th- again, like what is there really? And then you got JD Vance who can't stop. Um, Pino, you asked where did I hear that? Donald Trump has said it multiple times. He said it multiple times. That shit has come out of his mouth multiple times. Does that mean that he's serious about it? Not necessarily, but he says it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he says. He also says that immigrants are taking 107% of the jobs. How does that work? What does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? If y'all can't tell, I'm very bored with this. And there's just other stuff to talk about that's really of interest to anybody. No matter who, no matter which side of the political spectrum you lean on. Again, like there's stuff to talk about, like the state of the education system, how it's funded, how it's not funded. There's so many other things to talk about. And we're gonna start talking about that. Unless something drastically changes, like I don't really want to, keep playing these videos of Donald Trump saying a bunch of stupid BS, you know? So we got a labor strike going on. We got a labor strike going on. 10,000 hotel workers today on Labor Day. Perfect day to do it. But again, yeah, like let's get into talking about stuff like this because the rest of this shit is just boring. It really is. I'm bored. I'm tired of talking about it. And yeah, unless something drastic changes, Kamala's gonna win. Like it's not. I don't. So let's move on. More than 10,000 U.S. hotel workers strike on Labor Day weekend. Staff demand wage increases and reversal of pandemic era cutbacks that impose painful working conditions. Thousands of U.S. hotel workers went on strike on Sunday for improved pay and conditions in a dispute likely to disrupt many Labor Day weekend holiday travelers amid union warnings that industrial action could escalate. More than 10,000 workers walked off the job at hotels in Boston, Seattle, Honolulu, Kauai, and Greenwich, Connecticut, as well as the Californian cities of San Francisco, San Diego, and San Jose after contract talks with the establishment's owners collapsed. The Unite Here union, which represents workers in hotels, casinos, and airports across the U.S. and Canada, warned that staff in other cities were ready to join the strike. "Quote: Strikes have also been authorized and could begin at any time," a union statement said, adding hotels in Baltimore, Providence, Oakland, New Haven could be affected. Oh man, somebody wrote this shit with AI or something. Either that or I'm tripping. I don't think I am right now. Staff are demanding wage increases, and the reversal of pandemic era job cuts that union organizers say has increased the workload of remaining workers and imposed, quote, painful working conditions. Quote, the hotel industry has rebounded from the pandemic and room rates are at record highs, Windmills Unite Here's international president said in a statement. But hotel workers can't afford to live in the cities that they welcome guests to. Too many hotel workers have to work two or sometimes three jobs in order to make ends meet. We won't accept the new normal where hotel companies profit by cutting their offerings to guests and abandoning their commitments to workers. The union said that as of Sunday morning, the strike had impacted 24 hotels in 8 cities. And I expect that we'll continue to see a whole lot more of this. And we should, we absolutely should. We should continue to see workers coming together, workers uniting, because there's really no other, there's just not as that much of an effective way without union memberships to really hold corporate America accountable, which obviously is why corporate America has waged such a intentional war against the working class. Hold on. We got lady fucking T. You did it again. Hold on, where we at? Thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for joining me today here on hold on. Okay, well, Pino, I've again, I'm not lying about this, so I don't know if you think I'm lying but I'm not. He's definitely said that. You're saying I'm not saying that you're calling me a liar, but I've definitely heard him say that. Um, but again, he says all types of shit. Donald Trump just says things. But Lady fucking T, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, everybody. Welcome aboard. Welcome. But yeah, again, I just think that what I'd like to do going forward, again, no matter what it is that you feel about Kamala or Donald Trump, there's just a lot of other stuff going on in the country. And I'd like to focus on producing content that could be of use to pretty much anybody. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is boring now. But thank you, Lady F and T. Thank you. Always for the win. She's always looking out. Thank you so much. Unite Here, which has more than 275,000 members, has accused the hotel industry of using cutbacks triggered by COVID related lockdowns to permanently cut staff and reduce guest services. So we'll keep our eyes on this. But yeah, it's always good to see workers coming together. Boom. All right. Now let's get into we got ballot measures. We'll go over a few other things before we check out the ballot measures though. Again, I'm gonna just exit out of a lot of this stuff because it's just boring now. Before we get to the ballot measures, again, here's another great example of how there's just other stuff to talk about. Oh no, yeah. Thank you, Pino. And again, that's why I clarified that. I didn't particularly think he was saying that, but again, it's just one of the many things that I've heard him say. But again, I think that most people understand that Kamala's not going to turn the country into a communist nightmare. And so yeah, but no matter what it is that you like or what it is that you want, stuff like this is of use and of value to everybody. Let's start talking more about stuff like this. Schools rethink homework because again, these are the kinds of conversations that drive policy change and policy reform of all kinds. So I'd like to just really start getting into this. All right, so we got let's talk a little bit about how schools are rethinking doing homework. Conversations about the value of homework in education have simmered for years, but students' mental health struggles and artificial intelligence have pushed it to the forefront. 37% of 13-year-old students said they had no homework assigned on the day before a National Center for Education Statistics survey in 2023. In 2020, that figure was 29%. In 2012, it was 21%. Butterfield Canyon Elementary School in Harriman, Utah, has had a no homework policy since 2020. A no homework policy. Oh damn. Yo, shit. This would have been yeah, nah. We would have had to move to Utah when I was a kid. But hold on, we gonna get into it though, because a no homework policy, that sounds great, but is it? But one thing's for sure and for certain, our education system is greatly behind. It is greatly behind. Um, it it really doesn't prepare students, not even for the modern world or the modern job market. It's not really preparing students for where the job market's headed. Automation is changing all types of industries. Industries are always changing. Um, but our education system, I believe, needs to be more tailored to the individual and have more opportunities open for like students getting into trade schools and things like that. Obviously, it's too expensive. There's been so much of an emphasis on college campuses. That's been what's driven up prices a whole lot. I mean, outside of inflation, there's so many reasons why school is unaffordable. College is unaffordable for so many people. But there's a lot of work to be done in the education system for sure and for certain. But let's see what's up with this no homework policy. I'm jealous of this shit. Quote, it helps increase the overall social slash emotional health of our students because they're not so focused, especially at the elementary level, just on academic. They're able to explore other aspects of their life, which they should be doing at this developmental stage. Again, I'm not a teacher, but things like this definitely make sense to not make students robotic, and just the general viewpoint that if you don't make A's and B's, then you're somehow defunct. You're not a good student because you're not able to ace math tests or ace English tests or social studies tests. Um, so there's definitely a lot of work to be done in that regard. While students have shown some improvement in mental health metrics since the pandemic, overall well being has not reduced to pre 2020 levels. 67% of high school students cited homework load as a major source of stress in the 2020 survey, led by Stanford researchers for nonprofit Challenge Success. The percentage increased to 80% among those doing 3 or more hours of homework daily. And again, especially if it's not your strong point, then that can really damage your esteem in terms of just the options that you really do have out here. Because there's a lot of opportunities out here, but people aren't necessarily don't necessarily have access to those opportunities. Sometimes people do have access to those opportunities, but they're just not aware of them. With younger students, there's less research showing homework improves academics, Pope said. Oh, well, then that no homework policy behind, yeah, okay. For older students, decreasing homework loads also helps level the field for employed students. It's almost as if people aren't overworked, there's a little bit of extra space for passion in what they do. I think that definitely has something to do with it. I mean, it's funny when you go to job interviews and they try to act like you're supposed to be super, super passionate about what you do. And oftentimes it's like, hey man, I just got bills to pay. I got kids to feed. I just need a job. I'll do what's necessary. 19% of teens said they've used Chat GPT to help with their schoolwork. I mean, how different is that really than just cheating, period, with Google? I don't know. Again, I haven't been in school for a while. 69% said it's acceptable to use to research. I mean, this kind of just looks like this hasn't changed. I mean, people have been cheating forever. People always trying to find ways to cheat. Okay. And also, what we'll be able to do is bring professionals in from each of these industries when we have conversations about it. Like we'll look at an article like this, and then maybe I can bring in a teacher who or somebody who's on some education administration staff who's been doing it for 20 plus years or something to have them really talk about um the successes and the failures in the education system, what they think we need to do, what have you. All right. So now we're talking about assigning 5 math problems instead of 20. And a lot of the times, less can be better. Less can be better. Even like if you're like with TYT, for instance, like the one of their channels, Rebel HQ, that I do videos for. The channel started doing way better when there was less output because there's not quite as much to take in. If you're really learning something and you have 5 problems to do in a day, I could see how that could definitely be enough if it's exercising your brain. Doing 20, if you do 5 or 10 right, doing 10 more right in one night won't necessarily make you better at it. You could get exhausted. But yeah, and I'm glad that people are obviously thinking about these things because again, our education system is just really outdated. It is very, very outdated. All right, what we got? And here, let's go on to this. How people are retiring at older ages because people can't afford to stop working. Again, these are issues that don't really matter what it is, what side of the spectrum you fall on. This is relevant. Older workers aren't retiring. Hold on, do I have this pulled up for y'all? Yes, I do. Older workers aren't retiring, creating career gridlock for younger ones. Increasing numbers of older Americans are putting off retirement, creating career ladder gridlock that is impacting younger workers. As older workers stay in their jobs longer, their Gen Z and millennial colleagues are often locked into lower paying junior level jobs. The share of US adults aged 65 and older in the labor market has steadily increased since the 1980s. Hold on, let me open this up over here. Okay, let's check out this number right here. I'll pull this down and check out this chart that we got pulled up about how older workers are staying in the workforce because people cannot afford to retire. So we got some of this. What is this here? This is from a little bit before 1970, it looks like. Share of US adults age 65 and older who are working. Boom. And then, of course, during the years where union membership was stronger, tax laws were more geared towards the working class, people were able to retire more. Boom, boom, Ronald Reagan, boom, boom, Bill Clinton gets in office, and then it slowly starts to go up along with the neoliberalism. You got you got the decrease in union membership with the right to work laws. You got stock corporate stock buybacks being legalized, and how that provides an endless incentive for corporations to fire workers at all costs, fire people you don't need, or quote unquote don't need, so that you can purchase your own stocks. And lo and behold, look at that, it goes way on up. It looks like right in the 2020-ish area you had it up 20%, but now it's in the 19% area. So this type of stuff has a direct correlation with union membership and tax laws and corporate regulations, which is really to the surprise of no one. All right, let's see. Let's get back to this. A 2023 retirement confidence survey from the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that 33% of workers plan to retire at age 70 or older, or never. That's up from EBRI's 2021 survey, in which 26% of workers said the same thing. Declining Social Security benefits and fewer jobs offering pension plans have contributed to a landscape in which most Americans aren't financially on track for retirement. That's bad news. Definitely got to. And again, this is why, again, I just kind of want to, we'll still talk about the election, but it's just not that much to talk about it anymore. And I don't really, this is more important to go over stuff like this than, oh, what dumb shit did Donald Trump say today? Now, if it's really funny, we're going to go over it, but I'm just kind of bored with all that. Because it's just the same, it's just the same thing every day. People generally are living longer and staying healthier as they age. Both play a role in how older workers remain on the job. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely another important metric. People are working longer, not only because they have to, but because they can as well. And a lot of people enjoy working, but obviously we know that economic conditions play a larger role in that for sure. This has contributed to a tricky situation on the career ladder because there are only so many jobs to go around, especially at the higher levels. If you're not moving up in the corporate ladder because there's no space for you to move, then your earning potential is actually stalled. This can cause worker stress and anxiety, but also fuel job hopping. Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, man, depending on what field you're in, people do not be staying in jobs. I know people be like recruiters and stuff, or, like they'll be at a job for a few months and they go to another one for 5 months, 6 months. People are not staying at jobs anymore. You don't really need to, but this definitely is playing into it. Quote, we may end up seeing a ripple effect where younger generations have a hard time increasing their earning potential, which could potentially also impact their ability to retire at a certain age as well. And we also already know that, home prices are through the roof right now. I mean, so people ain't buying homes. Well, millennials aren't. Millennials, Gen Z are not buying homes, not nearly as much as older generations. And obviously, yes, that plays a role in delaying having children because kids are expensive. Yes, more stuff like this. All right, let's see what's up. We got some abortion statistics. We got updates on that. We zooming through stuff today. We are zooming through things today. Where we at? We got hold on. Savitas Vox. We got Savitas Vox in the building. What's going on? What is going on? Yes. Homework teaches kids that the work is never done. This is America, damn it. This is America. And our overlords need more yachts. They need more yachts and more mansions. So we got to teach them young. We got to teach these motherfuckers young that they don't matter. Who cares about your stress? Oh, hold on, what's this? Nah, we'll do that another time. We'll get into ballot measures in a sec. Let me first hold on before we get into ballot measures. Let's go over some abortion updates. All right, I got the right thing pulled up. I got to get another screen, y'all. It'll still take me a while to do this on the one screen. Texas abortion ban 3 years on, and again, this is another thing that's really has been hurting Republicans in elections, but it will hurt them in this election series because this is on the ballot in several states, and we're going to go over that in a sec. All right. Tens of thousands of Texans have traveled out of state for abortion since the state's ban took effect, more than from any other state due to Texas's large population and the restrictiveness of the law. The law, which preceded the Dobbs decision and took effect 3 years ago Sunday, has since been followed by similarly restrictive rules in states like Arizona and Florida, both of which are abortion is on the ballot right now. Arizona's almost certainly going to go to Kamala Harris because of that, and Carrie Lake's getting there. Carrie Lake is getting destroyed by Ruben Gallego. Together, they have drastically reduced access to abortion across the country. Clinics across Texas are forced to either close permanently or relocate to other states. The healthcare implications are dramatic and devastating. So let's get into some of these numbers. Infant deaths surged 12.9% in Texas, compared with a 1.8% increase across the rest of the country in the year after the state enacted its strict abortion ban, according to a study in JAMA Pediatrics. Republican Governor Greg Abbott, who championed the ban, has claimed thousands of newborn babies were saved as a result of it and other Texas legislation. Texas's abortion law, the strictest state measure at the time, it's not now because they in competition with each other. Who can make it the worst? At the time it went into effect on September 1st of 2021, banned the procedure after a fetal heartbeat could be detected around 5 or 6 weeks, which obviously is often before women are even aware that they're pregnant or even start to. That's around when they start to think they might be pregnant, around that 6 week mark. Like, maybe I'm pregnant, which obviously is a way to just fully ban abortions. A year later, a trigger law made performing an abortion a felony. Quote, because clinician provided abortion is almost impossible to access, people are traveling all over the country in order to get care. Some 35,000 Texans did so last year, per data estimates from Guttmaker Institute. An estimated 71% of abortions that took place in New Mexico last year were for out of state patients, mostly Texas residents. So again, I mean, this is a law that isn't working, and it's in addition to it not working, and we've gone over stories about how hundreds of women since the reversal of Roe have been forced to have miscarriages in public bathrooms or won't be admitted into the hospital because if they're bleeding, they've been bleeding for days, but the doctor won't perform an abortion because it's illegal. Um, Hundreds of deaths that have happened because of stuff like that. And it's obviously not boding well for Republicans in elections. Because as a Republican, and I've said this before, like the best way to address abortion as a Republican is to not talk about it at all. You know what I'm saying? It's because how can you effectively talk about abortion as a Republican? Um, it is not true that everybody wanted Roe to be reversed and everybody wanted it in the states. That's not true at all. You know, so you can't really address it, and you can't say that, and you can't say that, oh, I'm a Republican, but I want fair abortion access. Like it's just not an issue you can effectively discuss at all. Like Republicans really screwed themselves with this shit. They really did. It was a very bad move politically for them to do this. And they've been suffering the repercussions in elections uh since the reversal happened. Where we at now? Even when people are able to obtain abortion care, it's not necessarily a success story. It's something that they've had to really overcome. Under Texas's law, a licensed physician can perform an abortion only if the pregnant person's life is at risk or the pregnancy poses a serious risk of substantial impairment of bodily function, major bodily function. Critics of the ban argued ambiguity over when exceptions are allowed. You get a first degree felony if you violate the law, which obviously is why women are being turned away, women who are in serious need of medical attention. All right. So, my allergies are going crazy right now. My allergies. Ah. Kate Cox, the Dallas area woman who generated national attention when she was blocked from getting an abortion after she discovered her fetus had a fatal genetic disorder, is helping rally Democratic voters on the issue. Yeah, and I think she's the one that they forced her to give birth to the baby. The baby only lived for a very, very short amount of time after the baby was born. So, yeah, that is clearly continuing to be of deference to Republicans winning elections. Now, let's see. Again, we're gonna have a shorter stream today because it is Labor Day. Labor Day. Uh, and I'm gonna go get a run in because it is beautiful outside. All right, Netanyahu seems to be in a lot of trouble. He's been in a lot of trouble, but his own country is quite fed up with him. And so, yeah, let's check that out. Thousands protest in Israel to demand Gaza deal. Yeah, this man is he's fucked. Thousands of protesters rallied across Israel over Sunday night after the IDF announced that it recovered the bodies of 6 hostages from Rafah, Gaza. The protests came as the White House said the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan held a virtual meeting with families of U.S. hostages held by Hamas in Gaza and ahead of Israeli labor union. How do you say that? Histadrut. I don't know how to say that exactly. Calling a general strike for Monday, which is today, to protest the Netanyahu government and demand an immediate hostage release and ceasefire deal. Everybody is tired of this. Everybody is sick of this shit. Um, and again, that's getting Netanyahu out of office. Obviously, is not going to solve all of the tragic issues that the Palestinian people are facing. This has been an ongoing issue for over 70 years. But getting Netanyahu out of office at least will provide more windows of opportunity, for there to be some type of progress with that. But this is an issue that's this isn't going to be cleaned up all of a sudden. Where are we? So here's some pictures, people out. And this was yesterday. Netanyahu is increasingly unpopular because people are sick of it. Because Netanyahu is a psycho. That dude is out of his damn mind. Yeah, these are all pictures from the protests from in Israel. But yeah, again, this is going to be this is an issue that's decades long, and there's not a quick solution to it, and we're going to have to stay on it. All right, now let's get into some of the ballot measures that we got going on. Let's get into, and we've already looked at some of these too, but let's go over it again. Go to Ballotpedia, check out these ballot initiatives. All right. As of September 1st, which was yesterday, 160 statewide ballot measures have been certified for the ballot in 41 states for elections in 2024. All right, abortion. Let's see. Because this just has, all right, so voters will decide on 11 abortion related measures, and this is in 10 of these will provide the state constitutional rights to abortion, which is in Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Maryland, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New York, Nevada, and South Dakota. One in Nebraska would limit the time frame for when an abortion can be performed. Arizona, and again, these are key states in the election. Arizona, also, Carrie Lake is getting absolutely slaughtered by Ruma Gallego in that state. So this is gonna definitely help to carry Kamala over the edge. Colorado, already a blue state, but still, obviously, they're gonna vote in favor of that. I mean, I from what I've seen, when people have the option to vote to protect abortion rights, they typically do it. So I'll be surprised if Florida doesn't do it or any of these states don't do it. Maybe some of them won't, but we'll see. Missouri, they're definitely, well, that's where I'm at now. They're definitely going to go out to protect it. I mean, Missouri voted to expand Medicaid. Typically, when you give people an option, they tend to choose to make their lives better. If you give people the option to raise the minimum wage, most people will choose that. Oklahoma rejected recreational marijuana a few times, but I guess that's Oklahoma. But also, recreational marijuana is, obviously we need that to be legal for a lot of reasons, but it's not directly tied to your own money in your own pocket. So if people have an option to raise their wages, expand Medicaid, cut their own taxes, they're probably going to choose to do so more than they wouldn't. All right. Citizenship bans on non-citizen voting at the state level, which doesn't happen. And of course, it's all in red states because it's BS. Idaho, Iowa, Kentucky, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Wisconsin. It's funny how they do this in all the states where there's like the least amount of immigrants, because the immigrants are they're all over the place, but New York is not voting for this. Florida is not voting for this, even though Florida's red. Illinois, Chicago's a huge hub for that. Texas is not voting for this because it doesn't happen. Undocumented citizens don't vote. And if they do, it's not, I mean, why, like, they don't have social security numbers. It's just a ridiculous lie. Wages. Excuse me. All right. In 2024, Alaska, California, Massachusetts, and Missouri. In Alaska and Missouri, the initiatives propose raising the wage to $15 an hour, and along with paid sick leave requirements. Again, people are typically going to vote in favor for stuff like this. California, they're looking to raise it to $18 an hour. In Massachusetts, the ballot measure would increase the minimum wage for tipped workers to match the general minimum wage. Voters in Nebraska will also decide on an initiative to require paid sick leave for employees. Arizona, the voters will be asked to decide Proposition 138, which would allow for tipped workers to be paid 25% less per hour than the minimum wage. Oh, okay, well, we'll see if people vote for that. The current law allows tip workers to be paid $3 less than the minimum wage. In 2024, the state's minimum wage is $14.35, which means tip workers can earn $11.35 per hour. 25% less than that would drop it down to $10.77. I don't know why people will vote in favor for that, but we'll see. All right. Initiated. Okay, those 56 here, 103. Campaign finance. We got campaign finance. Ballotpedia identified $410 million and 17 cents in contributions to support or oppose statewide measures on ballots. And again, this is why, so much happens at the local level and people absolutely throw money behind it. And that's why I said we're gonna start paying more attention to this because I'm really bored with this Trump versus Kamala shit. Because unless something unbelievably drastic happens, Trump's gonna fucking lose. So there's, like it's more productive to look at stuff like this than to look what dumb shit Trump said yesterday because it's endless. It is absolutely endless and it's old. Shit's boring. All right, we got California, $148,665,657 was thrown into this to be like, nah, we don't want y'all to make more money. So again, people put a lot of dollars into stuff like this. Washington, there's 4 measures. Ohio 1, Arizona 13, Florida 6. People is throwing money into this. Measures with the most contributions. Florida Amendment 3, marijuana legalization. 66 million plus in support, 13 million plus in opposition. This is a nice breakdown we got here. So we got prohibit state limitations on local rent control. We got way more in opposition. Florida Amendment 4, right to abortion initiative. Support. Oh yeah. Florida's definitely going to go for this. Are you kidding me? You got Florida Amendment 4, the right to abortion initiative, and 42 million, 42 and a half, little over 42.5 million dollars in support. And just under $4 million in opposition. Oh yeah, they're good. Yeah, people are going to absolutely go out to protect that. Which that ain't good news for Trump either. Again, I don't know. Don't know if that'll give Kamala Florida. It's Florida, so that may be a bit of a stretch. But again, we know that when people have the option to let's see. But yeah, this is here we go. Ohio established the citizens redistricting. Damn, no opposition with this. $0 in opposition. Right to abortion in Arizona, 23,866,000 in opposition. Clearly that's going to win there. California proposition. Okay. But no, this is definitely a great source. We'll keep our eyes on it. But yes, we just went over that. Now, let's see. Now I found this is a bit of a random story right here. Let's see. Oh, we got Donald James. We got Soul Life in the building. Who else did I miss? We got Booker T. You said, Jackson, why do black Republicans like Larry Elder and Tim Scott always let Trump play them? Because because that's really all they can do. I mean, that's all they can do with their position in the party. If they didn't do that, then they really wouldn't have a place there. They don't mind that. People like Larry Elder and Tim Scott don't mind that at all. But that's how they put food on the table. All right. Now, again, this is a bit of a random story, but it's one that's not surprising. But these numbers are pretty crazy. Check this out. Yeah, and again, we saw the numbers we just looked at. I don't remember exactly what they were, but the money that was donated in support of protecting abortion access in Florida was like 75 to 80% more. So yeah, that's definitely gonna bring people out. But yes, again, this is a bit of a random story, but not one that's not surprising. White US egg donors paid up to 8 times more than black donors. White egg donors are paid up to 8 times more than black donors in the U.S., according to a new book, Economics, which explores racism and inequality in the egg donation industry. Author Diane Tober, a professor at the University of Alabama, interviewed hundreds of people in the U.S. who donated their eggs for use in infertility treatments and found vast racial disparities in their compensation. White women received up to $100,000 per donation, while the highest payment to a black donor was only $12,000. Tober found. She also, damn, $100,000 to $12,000. She also found that 78% of the 719 donors studied were white, whereas 11% were black or Hispanic. While paying for donated eggs is illegal in many countries, the U.S. sets no limits on compensation, with individual fertility agencies, clinics, or egg banks typically setting their own prices. Fertility agencies and egg banks often tout desired social and physical traits in marketing to would-be parents, Tober's study found. This has helped foster an industry that plays on racist ideas about the perfect donor. That's about it from this article right here. But no, that was just a massive, massive disparity. Like, sheesh. 100,000 to 12,000. Okay, now, you know what? This is what we gonna close out with, because I want to start doing these nerd shows again. We got $5 from Virginia Thomas. Thank you so much. We got the more people that come out for abortion rights are good because they will also vote for the landlord stuff and the weed thing. Oh yeah, I think it's looking pretty good for stuff like that. I think it's definitely looking really good. Right, exactly. 100,000 per egg. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go ahead and get them eggs up. Any you white women in the chat who don't need all your eggs? Hey, we just went over a massive come up. You know what I'm saying? You might make 6 figures off your eggs. Black women in the chat, not as big of a come up. You know what I'm saying? But you still can make a little bit of money. But yeah, we just went over some a decent little come up. You know what I mean? But no, I want to start doing these when we do the nerd news episodes again. Look, this is what we're gonna close out with. My dad, he put me onto this show called Supercar that came out when he was in grade school. It came out in like 1961. And it's a marionette show. And you know, there's just endless TV programs that we have never seen or that we have forgotten about. But I just want to close this show out with the Supercar theme song, because you said that Obama win Florida. Actually, well, what year? In 08 or 2012? Let's see. I don't remember exactly. Did Obama win Florida in 2008? Let's check it out. Yes, he did. Obama ended up winning the state with 51% of the votes. In 2008, he did. He did indeed. All right. We got yeah, thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. We got $5 from Donald James. Thank you so much. I'm gonna keep on rocking and stocking up indeed. And again, we gonna keep focusing on more stuff like this, because there's so much happening around the country other than what stupid thing did Donald Trump say yesterday. And we've already, we've gone over all the metrics so many times that, unless things start trending in the other direction, then it's just boring. Like it's just the same shit every day. But thank you, my brother Donald James, for the $5 super chat. Thank you for rocking with us today on this Labor Day, on this holiday. But yes, here we go. We're gonna close out with this marionette show with the intro to Supercar. Let's check this shit out. Hold up. Boom. Are y'all ready for a blast to the past?
Supercar, supercar, with beauty and grace, as swift as can be. Watch it flying through the air. It travels in space or under the sea, and it can journey anywhere. Supercar, supercar. It travels on land or roams the skies through the heavens.
I've never heard of this before, and this is like, this shit just makes me incredibly happy. You know what I'm saying? Like supercar, and you got the marionettes going. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we got to start watching shows like this on the channel.
Stormy rage.
You just got the goldfish. You know what I'm saying?
It's Mercury Man, and everyone cries. It's the marvel of the age. Supercar, supercar, supercar.
Is that not one of the greatest things you've ever seen in your entire life? You got to watch it one more time.
Supercar, supercar, with beauty and grace, as swift as can be. Watch it flying through the air. It travels in space or under the sea, and it can journey anywhere. Supercar, supercar. It travels on land or roams the skies through the heavens' stormy rage. It's Mercury Man, and everyone cries. It's the marvel of the age. Supercar, supercar, supercar.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know nothing about this show, but again, you know what I'm saying? This is what I think that we need to do. We gonna get back into, because again, there's so much other stuff happening, and let's have some fun. Let's not just keep ourselves in this place, because look, the election's in 2 months, and whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But I just don't see Trump winning this. I just don't. Like I don't, and I'm tired of saying the same shit all the time. But yeah, we gonna get back into that. But thank y'all for joining me on this Labor Day. Tomorrow we'll have a longer show again. We're gonna keep checking out what's going on at the local level. We're gonna keep checking out great ideas that people have in the fields of science, how we can better deal with climate change, all of that. Let's start talking about that shit, man, because that is where policy is gonna come from. That's where it's gonna come from. Do I think Trump will engage? Shit, I think if he got in there, he would put more right-wing lunatics on the Supreme Court who probably would do that. So yes, definitely, I think that he absolutely would do some shit like that, for sure. But y'all have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.